Okay, here we are, guys, ready for week 4 of our Intro to Communication class at Grantham University. This week we are in peer reviews. Uh, Going over some of the uh, students that we have in our class, we had everybody did, I thought, a fairly really good job. There was a couple in our class that I looked over. In our peer review, we was tasked to do 2 of them, and 2 that I picked 2 that they did a really good job at doing their speeches, respectively. And the thing that I seen with their speeches, the 2 that I picked was Annie Jones and Michael Solomon. I felt like that their speeches highlighted several things that we were, tasked to learn in other lessons. Like Michael, I thought that he did a really, really good job of telling his own story in his speech. I thought that he did a really good job of mastering a metaphor, and he seemed to be speaking more of off the cuff than he did the actual speech. I did a lot of research of trying to find his actual speech, because his speech seemed to it had a quality about it that seemed to be the volume level, as you can tell from my standpoint, was very, very low. I've got that cranked almost wide open. His speech itself, it seemed to be more off the cuff than it was the actual speech. It was very difficult, and I'm sure he had a difficult time too, of actually getting this speech, because this speech was incredibly hard for me to actually locate. And even the speech that I found of the young Jesse speech, Keys to Success, was incredibly hard to follow.
This is Jordan Cat with another motivational video, and this time
really hard to follow.
Jeezy with his keys to success. He's giving us a few of his key.
It seemed more of a commentary than he did an actual speech. The other gentleman, he did the speech, and it was kind of hard to follow. But like I said, Michael seemed to encapsulate or share his view of what the speech was actually trying to be about. As far as enthusiasm in the speech, I gave Michael a 6. Elocution, it seemed he pronounced the terms very, very well, but he didn't stay really with the topic pretty much. I gave an 8 there. Eye contact, he was dead on. I mean, it's just right there. He shared it right to the point. Body language and poise, he seemed to be kind of off a little bit there, but not very much. I gave him a 7. Poise itself, he seemed very confident in what he had to say. I gave him a 9. The subject knowledge, I gave a 4 out of 10 on that one, because I really, with as difficult it was to actually locate this speech, it was a very difficult speech to try to find a very good, clear view of it. And I would think the only way that you would have a good rendition of that is if you were there the day of the speech. And geez, you've got to be a brilliant man at all to memorize that word for word. Organization, he was a little short on the time constraints, so I gave a 12 out of 15 on that one. And the proper lighting, he had the ceiling fan going on in the back. He was wearing a t-shirt and shorts. He seemed to be leaning over the edge of his bed, very comfortable at home, doing what he had to do. But like I said, all in all, I gave a 5 on that one. Annie, oh, bless her heart, she did a fantastic job with her speech for what she had to work with here. It seems like she has a camera with super crazy poor quality, and that's probably just what she has to work with.
This speech is about the time of
It comes in and out, flickers a lot.
Dr. Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream.
Beautiful speech, beautiful speech. Dr. Martin Luther King did a beautiful speech there. It changed so many lives. And I think that she researched that topic beautifully. I think she did a really good job at telling that story. And it was a very ethical speech to perform there. It was exactly on point. The enthusiasm that she had during that, I think she stayed right up there at the top. She was very on point with that. I gave an 8 out of 10 on that one. Elocution, you can hear her voice clear as a bell. I gave her a 10 out of 10 on that one. Eye contact, she didn't do a lot of eye contact, kind of back and forth. It was clear that she was pretty well reading right off the page there. Body language, you don't get to see much of that because you're really just getting the very tippy top of the head view there. That's all you really got. Poise, there are no qualms with her confidence at all. She clearly knew the subject matter. It was a little short on the time constraints. She only did about a 3-minute video. Mechanics and the lighting, God, it's horrible, absolutely horrible. But again, I mean, if that's what you're dealing with, that's what you got, right? Attire, the only thing that I really get out of her attire is her she's wearing glasses and a red hat. So all in all, I think she did a very good job doing working with what she has. Working with what she has, she did a fantastic job. My speech, I try to use visual aids here. Not that they're very helpful, because reading from one computer to another computer is maybe not the best choice. But I mean, again, that's working with what I got. On my speech, I try to stay very enthusiastic, but again, with the type of speech that I was doing a monologue of a very somber type of a deal going on there. It was the speech that Robin Williams was giving Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting. It was a speech that really brought the the Will character out of this hiding position that he was somewhat doing, but because he was a genius, he was just, he was doing it without anybody ever really knowing it. So I mean, I did the best I could with that. As far as eye contact, geez, I practiced that speech over and over and over again. With the time constraints that we have for this class, and unless you are just a brilliant person that can just read something once and have it down, good luck. So, body language, I tried to mimic very closely what the video of this actually was. I even tried to wear very similar clothing. I wore a hat for this, and I wore a button-up shirt for this execution. I didn't have a funky sweater, but I worked with what I had. I tried to give a decent amount of poise. I tried to show that I had a good amount of self-confidence with this particular piece. The subject matter, up until this point and still today, I have not yet actually watched all of Good Will Hunting. This particular section of the movie spoke to me in a way. I was trying to do a little research whenever we were tasked with doing this type of a speech, and that right there kind of jumped out at me. The only other one that spoke to me was I'm mad as hell and got to do something about it speech. But I felt that one had a little more cursing in it than I really wanted to share on a YouTube video. Well, as far as the lightings and mechanics, I think that I did okay. This is the lighting that I'm working with. It's not the best lighting. I don't have a movie set, so you know I'm just sitting in my office at home, working with what I got. So, you know, all in all, I don't grade I've reviewed another gentleman in our class actually gave me a better grade than I would have myself, and I'm appreciative of that. I think that all in all, you know, everybody did as best as they could with the circumstances and the things that they had available to them. There were a few videos that I didn't have the opportunity to watch. For some reason, it does not let me load them. I get the something to the effect that we are not in viewing range or something like that. It's gives me, let's see, it was assignment 3. For example, I responded to Mr. Barton's speech because I can click on that and YouTube does pop up, but it says this video is unavailable. And he's not alone in that. I got that through several different of our fellow peers that their videos just weren't available to view. I don't know if it's a conflict or something that could be fixed. But I tried very desperately to make sure that my videos were viewable because, man, I could use any input that I can get. So, once again, thanks everybody for viewing my video that did, and for all of the advice that you can give. I think the peer reviews are critically important, and I look forward to your comments.